Good morning from Wimbledon Spiritualist Church. My name is Ray Robinson. I am joint president along with my wife Jackie of the church. And I'm especially pleased to be here this morning. It's a beautiful day, but I'm chairing my son, or our son. I think I was there, something to do with him. Our son, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, 42 years ago. We've also had this morning, we've had a very joyous occasion. We've had a lyceum for children, and it was really great. And my memory goes back to roughly September, October 71, when I walked into this church. And I was told by a past president of this church, I shouldn't be in here because I'm far too young. I need to get out and go home. But an hour or so later, he said to me, that his Chinese guide had told him that I would follow him in lots of the ways within the church. And here I am, over 50 years later, still here. Our Ashley told us many years ago that he didn't want to follow us into the church. He had no intentions, no wanting to. He was going to be a carpenter and go around the world repairing things for people. Well, works for the civil service. He's what they call an assistant director. And he is very much involved in spiritualism. So the family's here. My Rachel had no intentions of wanting to follow in our footsteps, but she is a qualified spiritual healer, counsellor, and a crystal therapist. So the family lineage moves forward with all of us being involved in one way or another. Though I have to say, Jackie and I sometimes don't always remember what we need to do when we get here, but we do it. Friends, it's great to be here, and I'd like to welcome Mr. Ashley Robinson, Minister of the Wimbledon Spiritualist Church and Hatbridge Spiritualist Church.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, folks. Thank you, Dad, and morning to the lovely people of Wimbledon Spiritualist Church this morning, and welcome to everybody joining us live on YouTube and Facebook. Welcome to our divine service, and it's a Spiritualist Holy Communion service this morning that we'll be sharing with you as well. So really pleased to be doing that. I thought I was going to say I'm your host, Ashley Robinson, but I'm also your minister and your medium and your counsellor this morning. For those that do watch on YouTube, you may have seen me on Being Spiritual, where I talk about spiritualist philosophy. Well, welcome to our divine service, where I'm going to show you my interpretation of a Spiritualist Holy Communion service, of which everyone will be welcome to participate. We do a little bit of mediumship. I've got my boys at the church today, as my dad was just saying. They helped us part of the Lyceum. We had some of the youngest members of our congregation actively participating in that. And we had older members of the congregation giving them a bit of encouragement as well, which was really, really lovely. I'm going to do a couple of hellos and welcomes to people in the church and online, try and make it a real hybrid So hi to Leslie and Alistair, and two girls that have been here today, grandchildren that joined us, and my own children, Ethan, Noah and Oscar, and my nephew Jack, my sister Rachel. Mum and Dad are here. Charlie's here. We'll be running Zen Den later. We've got lovely meditation, folks, for everyone in the church. You meet almost immediately after at 12:30 in the sanctuary. We've got a lovely guided meditation with Charlie. Sherry and T at the back, as well as Phil, Kelly and Steve, Ivor and Daphne, Shirley. Lovely to see Shirley at the church. Jill, Linda, and many, many others in the church today. Special welcome to all of you. Tony Coppins joins us from New Zealand, watching the service today. Hiya, Tony. We'll do some hellos from Trish Woods on Facebook, joining us, saying good morning to everybody. Morning to you, Trish. And Mary Dixie and a few others in the church as well. Carolyn Thomas joining us from South Africa. A big international, well, I say big, there's only two people I've mentioned so far, but that already feels like we covered a bit of the world. Christine Woodham from Spain. That's two of my circle leaders we just mentioned there. I'm sure Jill Hayes watching from heaven. I believe they've got broadband now. Izzy Ryan joins us, says good morning to Richard and everyone at SPTV. Hi, Izzy, joining us on YouTube. Sarah says good morning to everybody. Hi, Sarah. Love and light to hear from Texas as well. Christy, from James Fanelli. Active member of our congregation. Now you get up particularly early, I think, on a Sunday morning for you, about 4 o'clock in the morning. Lovely Mo. Hiya, Mo May. Good morning to you. And Jane O'Rourke, good morning to you as well. I'll do a couple more hellos. Rebecca Whelan, hi. Won't be able to get to everyone online, but I want to make sure that everyone online feels that they're part of this Wimbledon congregation today. Pamela Roger, good morning to you. Welcome. And for those names I don't know or not mentioned, hello to you. And if this is your first time at the church and you've come in initially as a stranger, we hope you leave as a friend. If you're watching online, we hope you come back. Every other Sunday, we broadcast on SBTV, SBTV UK. We got French, is it? Sherry-Anne? Good to meet you. Je suis heureux de faire votre connaissance, mademoiselle. Lovely to have you on the service today. That's my schoolboy, South London Delboy French. James Finelli, 505 in Texas. We were at Hever Castle with Mum and Dad last week. We bumped into some Americans from Houston, Texas. We're having a chat on the lake there. Beautiful castle, Hever. Some lovely history. Dad's a big fan of the sort of the Tudor period. And it was a home of Anne Boleyn's father. But lots of energy there, you know, hundreds of years of history in and around Hever Castle. So we did a bit of an informal, sort of spiritualist investigation while we were there. Okay, a couple more hellos online, just to let you know that we're all watching. If you want to participate in the service today, particularly when we're doing the mediumship, do need you to engage live on the chat on YouTube and Facebook. But if you are watching online, please share this service, share the stream. Hiya, Mandy, across. SBTV UK is a fantastic partner for us, both Spiritual Connections, SBTV UK. It brings spiritual people together. And never did we need them more than during the pandemic, when we had the opportunity to put this service online. We've now connected in this service with thousands of people, and I think the channel itself, with all of the mediums and communicators that give up their time, hundreds of thousands of people all over the world, and it's brought spiritual people together, including some people that have then physically met up, new friendships and relationships. So hi to everyone on Facebook and YouTube. We're grateful to have you in our congregation. We know that some of you watching the service, although there's no expectations, you must also donate. So when we put out the plate in the church later, we know that online folks, they're giving us donations as well. So really grateful for our online audience, as well as those that have come out today, and a beautiful Sunday morning to Wimbledon. So what is it that we're doing then? So we're doing our divine service, and I'm using some of the teachings of Richard Bush, our founder, who over 100 years ago was inspired by the spirit world to purchase land here. He'd formed an initial mission in a room, I believe, above a stable and a pub in Wimbledon. And he wrote a spiritualist divine service. Now, you've got to think spiritualism as a modern religion is only about 176 years old, I think. Obviously, the teachings and the ancient followings have been going on for thousands of years. But Mr. Bush, just over 100 years ago, wrote a spiritualist Holy Communion service. I think that Christianity was a big foundation for people, and people wanted their Christianity to be compatible with their spiritual beliefs. And even in 2024, it's not incompatible if you don't want it to be. And we spoke at the Lyceum about the stuff I do with my children at the Catholic Church. And it's my pleasure to sort of bring forward the service, a little bit of modern English interpretation and some of the ancient teachings. But in this divine service, of which my children will help with the serving in a little while, we will remember the last meal that Jesus took with his disciples. And in this church, we recognize Jesus as a character and as a leader, and we accept that leadership of Jesus. So we will remember the last meal that Jesus took with his disciples before his passing. But in the symbolic act of sharing bread and wine today, we seek to draw nearer to him and to each other, and to those who have come from the spirit world to be with us this morning, and in celebration of the lives who have now ascended to that place I call heaven. So both online and in the church, please join me in prayer. Beloved children of the universal Father and Mother, who all earnestly desire to make spiritual progress and to live in peace with all men and women, following the highest lights, we invite you to draw near us with sincerity, purity, and faith, and sharing this communion with the Spirit of light in the name of the teacher, Jesus. Amen. Mother Earth, Father God are titles which I use as part of my address. And I asked my children this morning about what is prayer. And in plain English, we spoke about affirmations, talking perhaps to your God or gods, and wanting well of either yourself or for you to do better. But Mother Earth, Father God, unto us all hearts to be open and desires known to us, and from no secrets are hid. Please open the thoughts of our hearts by continued inspiration, and help us to love and to worship in the way that we want to be able to worship, to practice our religion and faith. May we ever remember that we are the holy temple, and we strive to manifest spirit in our daily lives, learning efficiently the lessons of life. The lessons of this school, we offer ourselves and our bodies for the purpose of wisdom. Amen. May we ever remember that we are the holy temple and strive to manifest spirit in our daily lives, learning efficiently the lessons of life. And the lessons of this school, we offer ourselves and our bodies for the purpose of wisdom. Praise and honor be unto the universal light and one of joy, through peace and goodwill towards all men and women. So mote it be. O thou, the Lord of all life, creator and great architect of the universe, sustainer and director of the worlds, unseen but forever present, ever manifest in this creation. We give thanks for all the goodness and loving kindness to all of us humans. We bless thee for the many proofs that you constantly afford us of the continuity of life and the individuality after that change that we call death. For our companionship with those in the world of spirit, and for the revelation, there is a path of progress open to every human soul. We dedicate ourselves to thy service, asking that you will strengthen and uplift us as we may walk before thee in peace. I've placed some bread. In fact, my children did it with my dad this morning at front. I'm just going to swap the camera angle so people online can also see. Father, Mother, God of all, sanctify, accept these symbols, bless this communion and make it spiritual. Help us to realize unity with spirit and enjoy fellowship with the angels and our guides. Divine, come near us and bless us. May we be worthy of thy presence of light to be with us now and to aid us in our prayers. All of those wishing to take communion, please come forward now. Come forward in love, for communion is denied to no one in this church. We will now serve communion. I'm going to place those online just on mute for a little while. There may be some adverts which Richard places, but invite everyone to now come forward and take communion.
Help Spiritual Psychics TV grow our TikTok channel. Connect with us at SPTV UK. We're on a journey to reach our next milestone, and we need your help. Follow us today and support us going live. Imagine getting personalised readings, discovering your card of the day, and so much more. Don't miss out on the opportunity to explore new adventures with us. Follow, engage, and transform. Join our growing community at Spiritual Psychics TV with @SPTV UK on TikTok. This Monday morning from 10:30 a.m, broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube, join Nick Brown and Karen Wood in their weekly programme, Start Your Day. Our magazine-style show features insightful readings, dynamic conversations with special guests, discussions on intriguing social issues, and thrilling competitions to energise your Monday morning. So don't forget to set your alarms, and we'll see you there.
This coming Monday from 8 p.m, join Minty May for an evening of psychic and mediumship readings.
Okay, welcome back to those in online, and thank you for those that participated in the communion service. And in this communion service, we do commemorate the Last Supper. And as I said, this church accepts the leadership of Jesus Christ. And we know that, and we certainly believe that as Jesus sat with his disciples, Jesus took a loaf of bread and said, "This loaf is a symbol of my body, and this bread is a symbol of the bread of life. As I break this bread, so shall my body be broken as a pattern for the children of the earth, who must give freely their lives in willing service to each other. As you eat this bread, so shall you eat the bread of life and never die." Blood is the life. This is the lifeblood of the grape. It is the symbol of the life of those who give themselves in service. As you drink in faith, you partake in that life of us all. We share unconditional love. From henceforth, this bread shall be called remembrance bread. The wine shall be called remembrance wine. And when you eat this bread and drink this wine, remember me, for we also reunite our loved ones whose life continues beyond that change we call death. O great architect of the universe, we acknowledge thee as a worthy and beloved teacher and guide. We would strive to follow and to learn. We earnestly pray that this simple ceremony with it enabled us to partake more fully of your spirit. In no age since the creation of human beings have the spirit world left us without witness. They have raised up holy men and women who have founded the great religions of the world. All these teachers and masters we revere, all taught us the same eternal and fundamental truths, and all were inspired by the spirit world, the same spirits of the universal, unconditional love. Spirit energy stands above humanity, ever guiding and inspiring. From time to time, our spirit friends, our guides and our helpers have taken their abode in some pure person, well prepared for the many lives to be fit an abiding place for the spirits of love. Such a person includes now what some may refer to as ascended masters, like Jesus. In Jesus, some see Christ, and in Christ, some see God. But I believe we're all reflections of that divine energy presence. For in the beginning was energy, and energy was with God, and energy was God. Energy was in the beginning with God. All things made through energy, and without energy was not anything made that was made. God, in my opinion, is therefore the sum total of all the primal particles of intelligent energy, life in itself, in the universe. So we do not stress the death of Jesus, rather we look to his life. For those, and for the whole of his life, was in service and an outpouring of himself in love by his life. An example, he might raise humanity. We therefore accept the leadership of Jesus Christ in this church, who was a man and a teacher. He, like many others before and after him, showed us the way of spiritual progress, teaching us that by love and service to others, we can unfold our own light, awakening with each of us. Almighty and ever-loving Mother Earth, Father God, we thank you for the promises and the revelations that you have given to the world. Thanks for the great leaders of the human race. And especially we thank you for the coming of our elder brothers and sisters for the work on earth as their continuing leadership from the world of spirit. We confess that through our faults and weaknesses, we often fail to serve as we should. But we follow the example that the spirit world have set, and we sincerely wish to live the higher life. And so we pray that you will guide us in all things, help us, strengthen us in our weaknesses. May we be sensitive to the inspirations. Amen. Thank you, folks. That brings us to the end of the Holy Communion service, and we're now going to have the rest of the divine service, including some mediumship. This is the first time that I've led the Holy Communion service as an ordained minister of this church. First time I'm wearing my clerical shirt to do that Holy Communion service, and I wear it with great pride. Oh, thank you. This is yeah, right. This is my church, and it is your church. And I've said with my ministerial work, I want to continue the work of our founders. I know my mum and dad are old, but they're not quite founding members. But I want to continue the work of the founders and the work that's been done at the church. And I also want to bring it forward. I think part of our mission must be, if we want to share our knowledges of life after death, if we want to share the truths of spiritualism, and we accept the fact there's a path of progression both in this life and the next, then as we eternally grow, we must evolve the church. We must continue to evolve the patterns. Ivan Lee, who's one of the vice presidents here and other ministers, would say, if it's not broke, don't try and fix it. And I think there's a big sense in that, not trying to change things or throw the baby out with the bathwater. But there is an opportunity, I think, to be able to minister in plain English. And certainly for those that have seen me talk on SPTV UK on a Friday night, when I'm talking spiritualist philosophy, I try and do it in plain English. And I try and bring forward those evidence. James Fennelly in Texas there saying, Mr. Ashley, Mr. Ray, your guardian angels are archangels. They're very near. Thank you very much, James in Texas. And as we move forward into that next part of the service, and I'm really pleased that almost all of you participated in the service. I think we lost at least one person from the congregation, so I hope they're okay. And that they, from a psychologically safety point of view, they at least felt safe to not participate in that, and perhaps this wasn't meant for them. But I hope there was no upset caused or intentions. That part of the service to me is just to bring us closer to spirit, slightly different to the way that my eldest son was told as part of his sort of Catholic upbringing, if you like, that perhaps there was some sort of act of divine changing of the wine and the bread. But I think that it's possible, it's just possible, that Jesus was misquoted. He's been quoted so many times in so many different languages and been interpreted. I think that perhaps Jesus just had more of a cunning plan to help us understand what energy was from a spiritual point of view when he spoke about God as his Father. And although I've been, my dad mentioned me being a civil servant, I've spoken a lot about my spirituality at work. Almost all of the major staff support networks have been very supportive and have spoke to me about the fact that nothing I've said as a spiritualist incompatible. The only group that I upset ever so slightly was the Christian network, who felt that I was not quoting directly from the Bible. And I said, well, I don't claim to follow all of the teachings of the Bible. I accept the leadership of Jesus. And I think it's possible that Jesus was misquoted. And actually, you talk about, Luke, that was written some time after Jesus's earthly experience. And it was Luke's opinion. And Luke was entitled to his opinion when he wrote those things that then ended up in what we now refer to as the Bible. But actually, one of Jesus's famous prayers talks about, oh God, our Father. So yes, Luke may have spoke about as Jesus being the only Son of God, but I believe that Jesus was also talking about God being our Father, because he was a lightning, that creator energy, that creator force, and the fact we were all part of something bigger than ourselves, and we were all connected. And that as particles of energy that make up our human experience, that personality is an energy which continues after the change that the body goes through called death. And then in spiritualism, part of that way that we practice that religion is we encourage our friends and our family and our ancestors to come forward, to give us messages of comfort and upliftment, to give us evidence of their personality. And that's the next part of the service. Tina Lacey saying congratulations and doing a beautiful service. Thank you, Tina. Yeah, so I'd now like to invite Jill to come up and share reading, and then we're going to pause for a healing moment, and then I will conclude the divine service by attempting to contact our loved ones in heaven, and we will also do the church congregation. But yeah, Jill, I'll invite you up to come and do the reading. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Good morning, everyone. I've taken this morning's reading from the White Eagle book, The Still Voice. It's entitled The Healing Power of Love. We come to help you to attune yourselves to the infinite power of love. Love is the worker of miracles. Divine love will meet every need of your life. The material world and your imprisonment in the physical body may seem to you very hard, and you have become accustomed to thinking in terms of pain and inconvenience and ills of the flesh, which seem so obstinate and will not be removed. Of course they will not, if you think about them. But as soon as you dwell in spirit, attuned to the love of your Father, Mother God, and Christ the Son, you will feel the inflow of a magic power of healing. But don't be in too much of a hurry. Be patient. If you will train yourselves to think in terms of love every moment of your life, you will find that unconsciously and almost imperceptibly, a beautiful healing will take place in your life. There are many methods of healing, but only one true source from which all healing flows. And this source is divine love, the foundation of all life. The Master Jesus is at the head of the healing ray, and it is his special work to help humanity to make contact with the source of life. He comes to you whenever you truly call. No prayer goes unanswered, because the true prayer sets up a vibration in your soul which goes right to the source. True prayer is the complete surrender of the soul to God's will. Thy will be done on earth. Thy will be done in my physical body. Thy will be done in me. God's will is good, and his will is that your body should be healthy, holy, and able to enjoy all the beauty of life. May the wisdom which will guide you to this end fill your heart and mind.
Thank you, Jill.
Now come to that part of the service where we do absent healing and pray for our loved ones in the realms of spirit, and also for our friends on earth that are not well. Just very briefly, most of you, even online, you would have heard us over the years say, Jim, would you go around with the collection? Jim's not well. He had a fall last week and he's badly battered and bruised. He's asked you all to pray for him, and I said I would ask, and he knew that anyway. But he is frail at the moment, so just keep him in your prayers if you could, and know that he is in need of comfort and love of the angels. So we now pray for Kelly and Stephen, Jim, Nicola, who chairs for us here, Jill, Elaine, V, David, Marion, Bernie. War in the Ukraine, Israel and Palestine, Kay and family, Felicity, and the passing of Reverend Alan Bowley to the higher life, and his family, Mayha and Shirley. We ask God's blessing and prayer upon them, and may they be administered healing of mind, body and spirit. For a few moments, silence, and then we go into the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Friends, now invite Ashley, yes, I stopped talking all morning, but invite Ashley. Let me finish. I am not even dead yet, and he's trying to take over. Ashley to do the address, but before we get that done, could Phil go round with the offertory plate, please?
So we're just taking the plate round the church folks online. If you want to donate online, you're very welcome to do that. If you head over to wimbledonspiritualistchurch.co.uk, you'll see there is a PayPal link there. And My Spiritual Events is where we have information about all of our services at the church. Some of those online, and people can participate, like our Friendship Club on Wednesday afternoons. And I think otherwise, Richard, you're going to show some adverts briefly for some of the online services on SPTV UK.
Help Spiritual Psychics TV grow our TikTok channel. Connect with us at SPTV UK. We're on a journey to reach our next milestone, and we need your help. Follow us today and support us going live. Imagine getting personalised readings, discovering your card of the day, and so much more. Don't miss out on the opportunity to explore new adventures with us. Follow, engage, and transform. Join our growing community at Spiritual Psychics TV. with @SPTV UK on TikTok. This Monday morning from 10:30 a.m, broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube, join Nick Brown and Karen Wood in their weekly programme, Start Your Day. Our magazine-style show features insightful readings, dynamic conversations with special guests, discussions on intriguing social issues, and thrilling competitions to energise your Monday morning. So don't forget to set your alarms, and we'll see you there.
This coming Monday from 8 p.m, join Minty May for an evening of psychic and mediumship readings.
Okay, folks, welcome back to those online. We were just playing a really nice piece of music here at the church, which I'm afraid I don't have the copyright license to stream online, but so we're going to finish that piece of music towards the end of the service. So, as my dad said, I've now got an opportunity to do some mediumship. I'm going to try and give messages to people in the church, and I may get information for people online. If you are listening online and no one in the church has accepted it, then please do give us confirmation that you understand all of the information that I've given. As we always say in the church, don't feed the medium, don't feed us online. All you need to do is say yes and verify the information. 9 times out of 10, folks, I'm going to get the evidence of the communicator, and I don't know exactly where I am until I am. So we'll see how that gets on. Okay. So my first communicator is a lady, and as this lady draws with me, this lady talks about being family. She knows someone in the church. So this would be a message for someone in the church. This lady is family. She is a mother. She's a grandmother. She was given the letter S. I don't know if she was even mentioning a Sass or a Sally. I've got this sounding noise. She was a mother. She was a grandmother. She was a sister. She's an auntie. She was maybe that's the sister that she was given that link. I've got a tightness of chest, and I've got impact around my lungs and my chest with her. I don't know if I've had something viral, pneumonia type condition, or a chest infection of some sorts on the lungs. The letter S is important, and April, we've got an anniversary of April. Someone in the church, understand lady, female, in the family. The letter S would be important between you and her. This lady is the communicator, would be family to you. I think it's on mum's side of the family. This is either mum or it's auntie, because she keeps talking about being sister, and calling out mum with the chest, like a pneumonia type condition. I feel like I was being drawn over towards the left-hand side of the church. No one understand this information? Okay. And you're Shirley. It could be this giving us. Your mother, Shirley, in the spirit world. Would you have understood the anniversary of April? I feel like it's a wedding anniversary, because I hear wedding bells.
Gosh, I've heard that for youngsters years.
Okay, so we're not expecting you to send a card, but as long as it's still significant to you, Shirley. So this message is for Shirley in the church. Got a woman here. It's your mum. You'd understand it. And she was an auntie. She was also a sister. Yeah, you understand that. Okay. So Shirley, I'm delighted to call you almost an adopted member of my family. I've grown up with you in my sort of entire spiritual life. So there are things I know about your earthly life. I'm asking Spirit to come forward and give me confirmation of things that I don't know. Okay, so I'll be asking you to confirm that. So I know you're a very gifted poet, and you do a lot of channeled work as well as automatic sort of writing with your poetry. Some beautiful spiritual poetry. What I don't know is actually the human being, but I'm being told about is that someone has taken the words that you've written and they've sung them. I've got someone that was picking up a guitar. Would you understand someone singing the words that you have written?
No.
Right. Yeah. You understand it?
Yeah, no, Shirley does.
Okay.
Because she wrote a couple of songs a few years back, and I'm going back 25, 30 years. And we
Really?
sang them
I
together.
can't remember, Ray. You know my memory.
Okay, well, Shirley said her memory is not as good as she'd like it to be, but several people in the church said you have written it. Now, that's within 25 years, which is within my lifetime. I generally don't remember that, and I'm asking Spirit to give me the communication, but they're talking about the fact that your words are so powerful. It's important that they're spoken, and I know you've spoken some of your poetry out aloud. And actually, I'm asking, okay, thank you, I'll ask her. I'm being told to tell you that we need to encourage people to read your poetry, the impact. The words were designed to be spoken, and that was the
Yes.
importance of getting them out to print. So we need to do more of that, more opportunities for you to share that. Okay, thank you. And I know your granddaughter, and I'm
Yes.
being told that she's been reading something that's quite powerful to her at the moment, something that you've written for her,
Yes.
and she's made it almost like an affirmation. She's saying it on repetition. You'd be aware of that?
No.
Okay. You'll be able to confirm that with her.
Okay.
I just remember Harry Edwards used to say, we don't do carry bag mediumship. We don't give people things to take away. So you can't take it away, but I know your granddaughter will accept that. And you've already confirmed that she has access to poetry. It's been reading. It's important to her, as are your words. Okay. She asks you for an opinion, and it's important that you continue to tell her the things that she needs to hear.
Right.
You're very good at doing the things that she wants to hear, but the real value is those things that she needs to hear. You need to continue to do that. She doesn't always have greatest taste in friends, I've just been told. You'll be aware of conflict that she's gone through?
Going back in the past. She's
Okay.
older now. And
yeah.
Not,
So that they were just mentioning that, and it's important that you're able to tell her things that you need to know. Okay, so that anniversary in April. Okay, thank you. I know you've got a partner in the spirit world. They're not communicating. It's your mum. I'll just say it as okay, thank you. So Robin was a big member of this congregation, we know, but your mum was just saying he's irritating her because he's trying to talk over her. Okay. And you know that he sends you his love from the spirit world, but he sort of he's taking the opportunity of almost like wanting to be on the microphone. They just want above and beyond. Say, oh, she knows I love her. I want to tell her a joke. I want to tell her a joke. And is just that humour that's sort of coming through.
Yes.
And she said it's irritating me because I want to talk, and he's like, tell her this, tell her that, tell her that. And he's trying to be sort of funny in that humorous way. Dad jokes. He's very good at the dad jokes. He's just got that sort of humour. She did mention. Okay, thank you. Right, the remote control. Something about the battery in the remote control had to be changed. Right, this is about now. Okay, so man claiming to be Robin is just, she's allowing him to speak. He's just making reference. He was with you recently when you had to change the battery.
Well, I can't do that. My husband does that.
Yes. And it was almost like it was a job waiting to be done.
Yes,
yeah. And he was just telling, I was there, would have sorted out for you, but I know it was then sorted. So just giving you confirmation that he is around you. And I've got green peas in a pod being planted.
He's just planted some plants for Ivor to take home flowers.
Okay, there we go.
And he's just done the planting. And
So just confirmation around you, Shirley, and they're sending you their love. Okay, it was a message from your mum. Thank you very much. Thank you, Shirley.
Thank God.
Right, my next communicator is male. As this communicator links with me, he talks about passing with a cancerous type condition. Okay, thank you. I feel like I'm lower body with the cancerous type condition. I've certainly had some problems and some issues down there. This man was a father. He's talking about a wedding ring which had become too big for him and had been put round the chain. He was just mentioning that. I feel like he would be father. Yeah, he is a father. I don't think he's necessarily your father. I'm getting confirmation that he is a father. So I'm looking for someone in church. Okay, so someone in church would understand a communicator, father figure to you in the spirit world with this cancerous type condition, lower body complications. I don't understand that in the church at the moment. Not the ring. Okay. I understand a father in the spirit world, pastor of a cancerous type condition, a father figure, lower body. Okay. The wedding ring that he had, would you understand the fact that he's still around? I feel I've got someone that almost like inherited the ring and it's too big for them to wear, but they had added it to a chain.
Oh, I don't know, because he's separated.
Right, okay. Let me see if I can get some more information. Okay, yeah, I know. He just said, I know you, right? So is it okay if I work with you, Petra?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. Letter J, quite important. You
Yes.
understand the significance of that? He was given the letter J. And I've got links to mum, because my mum's Jackie, and he just said there's a double meaning there, the significance where he would call mum out. Okay, you understand that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Daughter. Okay, I know you're saying he's a father figure to you. Would you understand a biological daughter of his?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like that she's the one that's got the ring,
Okay. I'll
and that
ask
he's
her.
like she's put it onto a chain to stop it from going away.
Okay.
Something that's time before. It's almost like he's talking about a previous relationship, which would be more significant to his biological daughter.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
then that's what he's talking about there. Okay, thank you. Just give him the letter F for Foxtrot as well. I know we're going the letter J. The letter F is important.
Might be his one of his middle name.
Okay. I feel like I've got Fred or I've got this Frank sort of sounding name.
Fraser.
Fraser, there we go. Okay, thank you, Fraser. I was accepting Fraser. I could hear the noise. For those that don't know, I've got 3 little boys. Those in the church do know because they're making plenty of noise in the back of the church. But I do lots of phonetics and I get lots of the soundings with them. Fraser. Okay, middle name. And F was like important. Like I sometimes sign off my name as Ashley C. Robinson for the child. I feel like the F would have been a sign off, like an important part of signing off his name. Okay, thank you. Right, so I know a little bit about you and your life as well. And I know that you have enjoyed football and something like that. But he's got a scarf that he's sort of almost holding up either side, and he's sort of celebrating.
Yes.
Okay, would you understand, like a football van? I've got the Wimbledon Wombles, and I know that they've just been added to a bench outside the stadium in Wimbledon. But I feel like I'm getting behind that, and I'm supporting the real sort of sense that quite excited by that. He just said, onwards, upwards, downwards, rising. He's talking about like a roller coaster of progression within that, but reason to celebrate the moment and quite enjoy that. Also tying a scarf to my wrist.
Right.
And I'm sort of celebrating with it. I can wave my arm, and I want to make a bit of attention and noise. I want to draw attention to you. Thank you. And I'm giving the healing. So just give me the healing hands. And he's just talking about that power of healing. You've been asking for healing for others, but he says I want to send healing to you. Because that you're in need of healing at the moment. Okay.
Yes.
And he's talking about a period. Okay, thank you. Destruction. There's been an element of. So I want to go back to about if life were always in seasons, I want to go back a season. Okay, so often we talk about seasons being every 3 months, but I feel like this would be more of like a significant season in your life, as if you've gone through a transition.
Yeah.
And it's the season before, like the past. And there's an element of toxic that he is saying it. Okay, I won't go too much into private life, but there's an element of destruction involved in that. And there was like, he's showing to me an element of persecution. Like I've got a woman that's being accused of being a witch and being burnt at the stake, and a tower that's on fire, and conflict in the streets and sort of fighting. And he's talking about that all being in the past, but it being an important part of recognizing the season. Okay. And this idea of persecution is quite like a medieval scene that he's given me in my head. I don't think take me back to that medieval time, but it's that symbolic of someone being picked on for something almost like a protected characteristic, something that they shouldn't have been picked on for, and that you morally doing the right thing. You had that moral courage to step in, and in doing so got burnt by the fires that were around. Would you understand the importance of that?
Probably. It's probably gone to the back of my mind though. Sorry.
That's all right. I don't want to go back sort of too fast. So if this were a happier season of your life right now, I want to go back a season.
No, I know. Yes,
okay,
I'll
right.
take it.
That all makes sense, right? And that's what he was just mentioning too. But the important thing he wanted to tease out of that was that sense of moral courage. It would have been easier for you to escape with everyone else, but you went. He said you poked your nose in, but you did it because it was the right thing to do in the situation. And he's saying it wasn't about you being nosy, it's about you having moral courage and you doing the right thing in the situation. So I feel like someone else was being picked on.
Yeah.
But there's an element of you being burnt.
Yeah.
And he said, fortunately, destruction in the past. And it's like you still smell the soot of the destruction and the fires. Actually, new season, new opportunities, new excitement. And in doing so, he elevates you. He puts you from the point of destruction of the tower that's on fire onto a hill fort in a new tower. Now, the new tower doesn't have a door. Okay, there's no obvious way in and out of this tower. There's no moat. It's just a tower on top of the hill. Part of this is to see any emerging risks and threats that might come. But actually, part of you being elevated is to now see how far you've come. Right. He wants you to look back and go, look how far you've come. That was there. This is where you are now. Now look beyond. Now look for the opportunities. Where are the new opportunities? Okay. I want you to see the big picture. I want you to go for it. And I feel like I've got the iron and I'm striking hard. But go for it. You've got to go for it. Okay. I feel quite excited about that. Now, if you're planning to do something you shouldn't do, don't go for it. If he's more excited about opportunity, and he's talking about plucking up your courage and going for it. Okay, Petra, that makes sense?
Thank you. Yes.
You understood your communicator. That was your message.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. hear my granddad calling Emit, which was backslang for time, and I got my dad whispering around to make sure we allow time for the announcements at the end. So we got a little bit of time. I think I've got a communicator that would be for someone online. Online, I'd be looking for you to understand a woman that's passed with breathing problems. I think this is a mother. She's also a grandmother, and she's talking about being a great grandmother. I've got the letter E. I was hearing the name Ethel or Aoife, I don't know if that's even an Irish name, and I'm just butchering it in the pronunciation, but I could sort of see that hearing of the sound. This lady has had, again, it's even, right, okay. I don't know if it's like a flu or a chest infection or a COVID type condition has affected my lungs and my breathing. Someone online would understand this woman, this mother figure, the letter E being quite important. It's an August anniversary, and just to see if I plant that seed for someone online. I've got another communicator that I'm going to come and do in the church. I will probably forget almost everything I've said online. So if you say online, you accept all of that, will come to you and I'll ask them to know where they are. But my communicator for someone in the church is a man. I feel like I'm on the right-hand side of the church here. This man, as he communicates with me, talks about having an impact around his head. The impact was on the inside of the head. I've either had a stroke or an aneurysm, right-hand side of the head. I've also had life-limiting condition, which has led up to that. Something inside my blood. I don't know if it's like a blood poisoning of some sort. Okay. Denise was saying my gran Ethel. Okay, I know Denise. And my daughter is a great-grandchild. Okay, so Denise, I'll come to you next, but I want to place this communicator in the church. Someone understand the male communicator in the church that's had either the stroke or the clot, the aneurysm? Kelly at the back of the church. Can you accept all of that, Kelly?
Uncle.
Your uncle. Okay. Denise Smith, I'll come to you for the last message at the end. Kelly, is it okay if I work with you?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The impact on the head, it feels like there have been other life-limiting conditions which have affected me both physically and sort of symbolically. It's been a real pressure on me. He's talking about the pressure, and I feel that actually my death in a way was a bit of a grace for me. It was a bit of a relief for me because so many of my physical imperfections had limited my life. Although I coped, I tolerated, and I felt somewhat embraced by that transition that I would call death. Would you understand that he's calling it a struggle? It was life limiting. Didn't bother me as much while I was living the experience as it was a relief though afterwards. Okay. He talks about the importance of that. And Kelly, I'm lucky to know you and your husband very well, and you're godchildren of my parents. I know about some of your physical ability as well as physical things which he is describing in his own life as imperfections. Now, I don't want to use that word imperfection because he's talking about the fact you do far more than tolerate and celebrate. And he really wants to focus on that word ability rather than disability, because he's talking about the fact that you are more talented, more capable, more effective than so many people that might have what he would describe as more privilege with a physical ability, but you make up for it in other ways. Would you understand why he uses that sort of language?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's very proud of you and your achievements and for what you do around that. He's talking about the fact he's almost making fun of it, but he's saying you are doing laps in your wheelchair from the lazy so-and-sos that can't get their back set up off the couch, even though they physically can and choose not to. Okay. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Very proud of you and wants to make that sort of recognition and focus on that word ability. He's showing me in my head like neon lights. Now, this would be interesting to see if you're understanding that. I know that you don't have vision in the same way that I have vision, that your vision is very different in the sense that you're not using, if you like, your eyes to see. But he's talking about the fact he's just planting an image in your mind's eye, similar to mine, which is almost like some sort of neon light. And all I can describe is like a vivid sense of colours, where the word disability only focuses on the word ability. Are you seeing that within your mind's eye as well?
I do see colours in sort of third eye. So I see them, I feel them as vibration, but I see them from...
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for confirming that and for sharing that, Kelly. And he was just giving that confirmation. Keep doing, keep seeing, keep moving, keep redefining the words of that ability and in what you do. He sends you his love to both of you. God bless you. Thank you, Kelly. And Denise Smith then online, who understands this communicator with you. Thank you, Denise. I'm going to assume the fact you're engaging with us now, you're giving me to some consent. Okay, one of the things, Denise, then he was saying that, so I know that Smith, certainly in the UK, is a relatively common name. He wants to talk about the fact less common is as a double barrel. Now, I know on Facebook you're coming across as Denise Smith, but Denise, you would understand a double barreled, like a hyphenated Smith. And he's showing me like a Smith & Wesson pistol. And I don't know if he's trying to add the word West to it, like a Smith West or a West Smith, but there's something about the northeast, southwest of the compass that he's then associating with your family name. If it's not to do with a hyphenated part of the name, it's about this sense of direction, Denise, and keep getting the west, really important. And the sun setting in the west, maybe there's the double significance there, Denise, that you would be able to understand. But he links in with you, he sends you some love and some light. He talks about the fact, okay, thank you. Right, so earlier on, Denise, in the church, we were running the Lyceum and we were talking about pathways. We were talking about pathways being open for all of us to progress, should we so desire. My son Noah spoke about the fact that not every path in front of you is the path you can take. You can actually go off and explore. Now, what he's telling me at the moment is that, Denise, there is a pathway in front of you and he feels there is a blocker, a real blocker for you at the moment. And he's talking about the fact that you must override, overcome, adapt to this. You are not going to beat this obstruction. You're going to beat it up. You're not going to beat it. You're going to beat it up. You're going to conquer it. You're going to overcome. Denise says, thank you. Yes, I'm Darrell Barrett Mariname. Thank you very much for that confirmation, Denise. Overcome, adapt, just going to get over it. I know there's this real military sense. I don't know if it's the Royal Marines and the commandos that have that overcome and adapt mentality. But Denise, if you'd understand those links to the services through the family, possibly through this communicator, but for you right now, why it's so important, you overcome and adapt, circumvent, go round the side, go round the flanks, go round the rights. And he's talking, I feel this military service because it's like red, right, Romeo. And he's talking like phonetically about getting round to the right-hand side, circumvent, overcome and adapt. And he feels that you've absolutely got this, Denise. You're well trained, equipped and guided for this. You've got this. And he's like, you've got this, girl. Ride on. Let's get on forward. And there's real sense of, I want to encourage you. I want to excite you. I want to motivate you. You move from the northwest to the southwest. Okay, thank you then for that confirmation around the compass. And Denise, I hope you'd understand the other stuff. He's also given me 1969. I feel like it's a significance year that you would understand as part of that. And he's also talking about, okay, right, we had the red, right, Romeo, the RRR. I feel like the letter R is quite significant. Yes, block on your path by a person. Thank you for that confirmation as well, Denise, that verification. Romeo, letter R is another, there's another significance there with the R for you. Okay, thank you. He's just showing me a keypad. You don't have to give us confirmation of what this is a code for, but he's giving it to me quite clearly. I don't have an actual keypad here. I can see it. It makes like the number 7. It's like I'm going 1, 2, 3, and then down. I mean, 1 second. He's trying to get me to look at my phone on my keypad. Right. 1, 2, 3. It's like 6, 8. 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. Almost like then star. It's like I'm making a 7 on the keypad that you would understand the significance of. Don't tell us exactly what the pin code is, but hopefully you better give us that confirmation. And Denise, that was your message. Thank you very much for the opportunity to communicate with you. And thank you for the lovely congregation at Wimbledon Spiritualist Church that's given me an opportunity to share my interpretation of the Holy Communion service and mediumship today. Now I'm going to invite Phil to come up and give us some of the notice of things that are going forward. For those of you joining us online, I'm really grateful for the continued support of this church, our church, your church. It's hugely important to us. And I now welcome Phil up onto the lectern to give us the notices. Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much, Ashley. And good afternoon, everybody in church and online. And I'm just going to read you some forthcoming event notices. Our guest medium next Sunday, June the 9th at 11 a.m. is Sarah McLaughlin, joining us from Chichester. So she will be visiting on Sunday, June the 9th. Please note the healing clinic is every Tuesday from 7 until 8:15 and Thursday from 10 a.m. until 12 noon for members of the community and animals. You will be greeted by our healer practitioners in a safe, friendly, and welcoming atmosphere. Free will donations apply. The next Friendship Club is this coming Wednesday, June the 5th, from 11:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. in church, hosted by Jackie Robinson. We hope you can join us for lively conversation, tea, coffee, and homemade cake. Please note there will be no Zoom option for Friendship Club until further notice. The admission is £4 at church, which includes refreshments. New for summer 2024, we have Charlie's Zen Den starting immediately after this service in our sanctuary at 12:30. This is a mindful meditation that will take you on a spiritual journey, connecting you to mind, body, and spirit. And again, a free will donation applies. The next open platform with myself, Phil Shaw, is Thursday, June the 20th, starting at 7 p.m. sharp. The doors open at 6:15, and these meetings are for intermediate, advanced, and working mediums to polish their evidential mediumship, inspirational speaking, philosophy, spirit writing, art, and presentation skills. A supportive audience is always welcome. Please contact me for further information on my email, philesoteric@gmail.com, or via Facebook page at Phil Shaw Spiritualist Medium. Finally, there is a demonstration of mediumship with Sarah Warman at Hackbridge Spiritualist Church on June the 21st at 7 p.m. The admission is £5, and you can find the advance booking link on our Wimbledon Church Facebook pages. Thank you very much, and have a pleasant week ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you very much indeed. Well, friends, we've come to the end of our service. We've got a few things happening here after the event, but I just want to share some words from the spirit teacher Zodiac. Our path is this: a practical religion, not a religion that is taking, but a religion that is giving, a recognition of the plight of our fellow beings, sending out to those far from us the healing power. And we've done that partly today in our service, and we're doing that partly here always at Wimbledon Church, especially when we have our healing services. But we must remember that we are here to live a life. Somebody recently put on a message to me saying a friend of theirs had passed away and they don't understand. They were a good person. They were such a great person. Why should they die so young? And we can't always answer those questions, but life happens. We're here on a purpose. We're here on a mission, and we have to understand that we're here to live this life. As I said, over the past year or so with my eye, a lot of things have happened to me. And somebody said to me, I know, Ray, you tried to help people, but why has this happened to you? Well, why shouldn't it happen to me? There's nothing up in heaven that gives me a special get out of jail free card. We all have things happen in our lives. And the most tragic is when we lose a loved one to the realms of spirit. And the word really, we shouldn't say lose, but it's spirit's gain, but it is a loss to us eternally. I still miss my dad and my mum. I miss physically talking to them, having them in that cup of tea, mum nagging me about something, dad nagging me that I've not brought the right loaf of bread from the right shop. But they're also memories that I treasure. They're memories that I hold deep in my heart. And seeing the kids here today at church, I was, in modern terms, the first committee named superintendent of the Lyceum here. And I had a group of about 30 children here. There was a few teenagers and some little ones. And it was quite great fun. But trying to control 25 little kids under the age of 12 was not fun. But we tried, and we really did try. And Ashley's now doing his bit and trying. And the bit I love, and I'm being slightly taking this to myself, but I know Jackie does as well, but I just love watching my kids talk and chat. And earlier on in the office, Ethan come up to me. He said, well, Grandad, do you have a pope in this church? I said, no, not as such, but we have a president, and it's Nanny and Grandad. I said, but I've got a pope's hat. And when Rose Anderson got ordained here at the church, she had Julie Caswell make me a mitre. And I took Ethan to the sanctuary and showed him his way. He went, "Wakey, Grandad, you're going to wear that this morning?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, I think you should." I said, "No, but it's here." And he said, "When I become head of the church, I'll wear it." I said, "Okay, you wear it then." So we wait and see. Friends, fellow travellers upon this life plane, both seen and unseen, let us go our separate ways with the blessing and love of God in our hearts and our minds, and keep the faith in season. And when the faith goes out of season, bring it back with energy, fire and zeal. Never forget, we are never alone. Spirit world, our loved ones, our guides, our angels are right next door to us. And if we can't feel them, it's because we're in a place that we don't want to be in, and they will then lift us up out of that. Friends, on behalf of Ashley and the Robinson family here at Wimbledon's Church, good morning, God bless you, until we all meet again. Bye-bye.
The church, please join me as we close in prayer. It is with love and joy in our hearts that we ask now for a blessing upon this service this morning, for the church family, for the physical and the online congregation. We are grateful for your time, your energy and love. For those that have made a journey here, may you all have a safe journey home. We ask a blessing for the committee of workers and the working groups. May they remain mindful of their obligations for keeping these doors open. We acknowledge all the hard work that is done, and in particular, special mention to Julian and Phil that have invested so much recently into the audio and visual technology. I hope that online you've had a great experience, and that in the church everything has been able to see and hear. We thank Mother Earth and Father God, our spirit friends who have blessed us with the presence and their companionship. And finally, we ask a blessing upon all homes that are represented here, online, and in the church, and the families therein. So we depart according and leave this church in peace. Amen. God bless.
Bye, friends. Bye.
Thank you very much, and thank you to those of you online.